The government of the day in India are hell-bent on introducing integrated medicine, and the practitioners of conventional medicine or modern medicine, as they call themselves in India, are hell-bent on objecting to that reasons, for their own reasons. Now, the public at large and the patients have a Hobson's choice between modern medicine and integrated medicine. I would like to declutter this topic as much as possible in a series of videos. In the first of the videos, I'll be putting up mainly regarding definitions, the practice, prevalence, and the present practice both in India and abroad, and the WHO's stand on this particular topic. Now, the government of India policy is reflected in the what the think tank Niti Aayog is looking at any reform ideas in the health sector. They are looking at many ideas in the health sector, including aligning traditional and modern approaches for a larger good. The government is committed to strengthening the traditional system of medicine, homeopathy and Ayurveda, as well as a modern system of medicine, allopathy. It makes eminent logic, according to Niti Aayog, that the best of traditional medicine and best of modern medicine therapies are brought together for the larger good of people, and there are ways of practicing integrative medicine. Therefore, they are looking for ways of integrating modern medicine with traditional medicine. Now, the controversial part, the real controversial part of this Indian policy is integrative medicine. In integrative medicine, it talks of an approach that combines modern medicine with alternate systems like Ayurveda and yoga. The Indian National Health Policy also recognizes the need for integrated courses for Indian systems of medicine, modern science, and Ayurgenomics, a combination of Ayurveda with the study of all genes of an organism called genomics. Now, this is something, a term which I did not find in many journals, both national and international, and this is something new to me. Now, it also talks about getting Ayush systems to contribute to meeting the national goals and objectives through integrative practices. Ayush means Ayurveda, Unani, Siddha, and homeopathic systems. And this is a wing of the Central Health Department of India. And they are thinking of integrating practices and, in fact, integrating education also. But what it means by integrating practices is that there will no longer be a primary health center of homeopathy or Ayurveda or Unani. There will only be a primary health center where all the systems of medicine in a Khichdi group or integrate given to the public. How they are going to do it is not clear. But this policy of the Niti Aayog, which is often the vocal exponent of whom is B.K. Paul, is often there in the press and the visual media. Now, the response from the IMA, which is the Indian Medical Association, which is the largest body of qualified modern medicine doctors in India, was swift and fast. When one tries to provide access to healthcare, it is imperative to maintain quality. When the standards of care have to be ensured, there is always a cost. And government's urgency and anxiety in providing minimum care to all is shared by the IMA. Unfortunately, IMA's concerns on standards of care appear to be not shared by the government. Look, the stand is very hardened on both sides. The Indian Medical Association, which is the strongest body of the modern medicine doctors, as they call them in India, are very clear that they are not going to cooperate with it. But the government is also very clear that they are going to go ahead with this policy. There have been a lot of demonstrations, etc. And I am sure that much more is coming in the future. Now, at this particular point, it is work for the public to know what exactly is going behind, what is exactly this controversy is all about. The central aim of this video series is to make the patients understand, or the public understand, how do they go about making informed choice in this, and how are doctors to change their practice. This is not a problem that is only for the general public. Even doctors are completely confused in this. How are doctors to change their practice? Now, this is what I will try to explore as we go about. And this can be done only in step by step. In this particular video, I would be only looking at what is CAM. This is a word which will come about again and again. CAM means complementary and alternate systems of medicine, alternate medicine. We'll come into the definitions later. And the most important, whenever you have a controversy, the first thing we look at is what does the international body of WHO stand and strategy is. WHO, which is the most respected international body, whose respect has definitely gone down after this COVID epidemic. What does they say? Even now, we will still look up to them to understand what is their stand on it. And we would also like to see what is the practices in other developed countries. This is not something new for India or developing countries. What do international scientific bodies say? What do international medical bodies say? What do very good international journals say? Then you will get some idea what is going on. Now let's look at some of the international definitions. Now, first thing we are looking at is the term complementary and alternate medicine, alternative medicine CAM, which is this will come up again and again. The National Institute of Health has defined CAM as a group of diseases, group of diverse medical and healthcare system practices and products that are not presently considered to be part of the conventional medicine. Now, the term conventional medicine is something synonymous to modern medicine. It's a major medicine, scientific medicine practiced in that country, which is of course the modern medicine which we call in India is internationally known as a conventional medicine. And the US National Center for Complementary Integrative Healthcare uses this distinction. When a non-mainstream practice is used together with conventional medicine, it's conferred as complementary. Let me tell you, all systems of medicine other than conventional are often used in the term complementary and alternates medicine. But they make a distinction. America makes a distinction. When the non-mainstream practice is used together with conventional medicine, is called complementary. When the non-mainstream practice is used instead of conventional medicine, is called alternative medicine. When coming to integrative medicine, he refers to integration of the CAM therapies into mainstream medical practice based upon evidence of safety and effectiveness within the context of relationship-based care promoting optimal health and well-being. Now, as an example, a pediatric clinician may recommend ginger or acupuncture as a treatment for nausea for a patient who does not want to take an anti-emetic medicine. This will immediately called as an integrative medicine. You can understand. It seems in the West, for troublesome nausea, even during oncology treatment, acupuncture is often advised even by modern medicine doctors. Then, of course, we know that our patients themselves take ginger when they have nausea. Therefore, when you do this, then it becomes an integrative medicine. But the next part is I don't understand. In increased number of specialty settings, except neonatal intensive care units, gastroenterology clinics, conventional clinicians advise patients to use therapies formerly considered alternative, such as omega-3 fatty acid and probiotic supplement. Actually, probiotics and omega-3 fatty acid are in the armamentarium of modern medicine. And I don't know why they bring it as integrative medicine. Anyway, when you combine CAM with conventional medicine, it is called integrative medicine. And that's what the WHO as well as the Indian government is trying to push forward. And that is what the organized, the modern medicine doctors are opposing to the hilt. The battle lines are drawn. Now, the WHO adds a new term, traditional medicine, also into it. What it says is that practices which are indigenous to a different cultures, whether explicable or not, and which has a long history. You call it as traditional medicine, and which are not part of the traditional history of that particular country. It is called complementary medicine. What I understand from this is that Ayurveda, which is part of the traditional history of India, would become a traditional medicine in India, while homeopathy, which is a traditional medicine in Germany, would be a complementary medicine in India. I think it's only one more word, but WHO also uses the word traditional and complementary medicine interchangeably. Now, I would like to say, therefore, in summary, in toto, that what we use as modern medicine, the term modern medicine in India, is internationally better known as conventional medicine. And the rest is complementary alternative medicine, is the better term used for all other systems of medicine. I know the traditional medicine is a term which is used by the WHO, which can be used along with the term complementary medicine also. In the next two slides, I just want to show you in a glimpse of the number of practices which come under complementary health approaches. In India, you might be familiar with acupuncture, massage, meditation, yoga, etc. But internationally, there are many other things like Alexander technique, guided imagery, hypnosis. Tai Chi is a very hugely prevalent in China. Lots and lots of people follow this. Now, of course, in India, we have Ayurvedic system, Siddha medicine, homeopathy. What I want to say is that it is not the Ayush which is alone important. Internationally, each country has its own systems. And the names are not, even the name naturopathy and osteopathy and chiropathic treatment are internationally done. Therefore, you remember this and understand one thing, that each country in the world has its own traditional and complementary medicines, and the numbers are innumerable. We in India are very aware that traditional medicine is very, very popular with the public in general. But let's look at the international scenario. Now, this book, Primary Traditional and Complementary Medicine in Primary Healthcare in 2018, brought about by the WHO, states that the interim data on the WHO Global Report on Traditional Complementary Medicine shows 87% of all WHO member states formally acknowledge the use of traditional and complementary medicine, which corresponds to 170 members using it. Now, 100 member states have a national policy on traditional complementary medicine, and 124 member states have national regulation of herbal medicines. And if you think that this is only in developing countries or poor countries in Africa and India, Asia, no, almost half the population in many industrial countries now regularly use some form of traditional and complementary medicine. In fact, in some countries like Canada, the usage is as common as 67% of the population. Now, if you want to get a graphic idea for this, now the WHO Global Report on Traditional and Complementary Medicine 2019 states about the member states with a national policy on traditional and complementary medicine. Therefore, just like India, they have a national policy. And this is brought about in 2018. And the national policy, green is which countries which have a national policy. If you look all over, this is North America, this is South America, Africa, Asia, Australia, Russia, the majority of the countries have a national policy. Now, what this graph shows is that in traditional medicine, the number of countries, member states with a traditional medicine policy, which is in green, from 1999, it has been consistently going up and up. It is not waning at all. And regulating herbal medicine also, the countries are, more and more countries are showing interest in regulating herbal medicine and trying to bring it to mainstream medicine, bringing quality to conventional medicine, etc. If you want to zoom into one particular camp, if you say just we take acupuncture, we can't discuss every systems of camp. Out of the 110 countries which responded, 103 acknowledged the usage, 29 had regulation, and 18 gave insurances. Therefore, CAM is well accepted all over the world, acupuncture especially. Whether there is evidence or no evidence, that's a different matter. Some statistics are really surprising to me. The annual number of outpatient visits to CAM professionals is greater than the number of outpatient visits to mainstream clinicians in the United States. More number of patients go to CAM professionals than to, the real modern medicine, conventional medicine. In addition, out-of-pocket expenditure for CAM are greater than those spent for hospitalization. We talk in America of expenditure on hospitalization, etc. But the second part may be due to the fact that majority of the Americans are having insurance and CAM doesn't cover it. But the first one is really surprising, that the number of visits, outpatient visits to CAM professionals is more than for conventional medicine doctors. The out-of-pocket expenditure in the United States for alternative products and services in 2012 was $30.2 billion, which approximately is 24% of the out-of-pocket expenditure for prescription drugs. Actually, many people have a wrong idea that CAM is cheap. Actually, it is really costly. And the WHO, I hope that the WHO reads this. The 24% of the out-of-pocket expenditure in prescription drugs goes to CAM in the United States. Therefore, it's not a cheap source of medicine at all. The one country which gives a cold shoulder to CAMs is NHS Britain, UK. The availability of CAMs in NHS is limited, and in most cases NHS will not offer such treatment. It does not offer such treatment. And the NICE, which provides guidance to NHS in effective treatment that are value for money, recommends CAMs only in 3 circumstances. Example, limited number of circumstances. For example, Alexander technique for Parkinson's disease, ginger and acupressure for reducing morning sickness. Ginger is not that costly. Thank God they are sponsoring it. Manual therapy for lower backache pain. Therefore, there are countries which are not ready to use public money for CAMS treatment. And you would have known that recently, maybe in the last couple of years, the last homeopathic hospital under the NHS was also closed down in London. And NHS no longer funds from the British taxpayers' money homeopathic treatment. In the next few slides, we will look at the stand which the WHO takes on role of traditional complementary medicine, especially in primary healthcare. This has got tremendous international importance, and many of the countries would take note of what the WHO advises and follow it religiously, like India is trying to do. Traditional complementary medicine is a health practice with strong historical and cultural roots, which has global acceptability and applicability. And it is an important primary healthcare resource to many populations and has been recognized as a component of achieving health for all since the declaration of Alma Mater in 1978. From 1978 is considered as a very important source by WHO. WHO acknowledges the contributions of traditional and complementary healthcare medicine to health, wellness, people-centered healthcare, and universal health coverage, and seeks to bring traditional medicine into mainstream healthcare appropriately, effectively, and above all, safely. The last sentence is what is really troubling the modern medicine doctors. How will you integrate it safely? The problems of it, we will come into the subsequent decisions. Therefore, what the attitude taken, or the attitude taken by the modern medicine doctors in conventional medicine doctors is, you cannot integrate traditional medicine and complementary medicine safely into any healthcare system. The details we will come in subsequent discussions. The WHO goes on to state that the Declaration of Astana, adopted at the Global Conference of Primary Healthcare in 2018, October 2018, made it clear that the success of primary health care will be driven by applying scientific as well as traditional knowledge and extending access to a range of healthcare services which include traditional medicines. This will be very well contested by conventional medicine doctors. They would say, how will you apply scientific knowledge when the traditional medicine and many complementary medicines have no scientific basis? The WHO also emphasizes the primary role of traditional and conventional medicine, complementary medicine practitioners in educating individuals, families, and communities on health promotion, disease prevention, public health issues, and appropriate care seeking can also be capitalized on the search for having a healthier population. Now, myself under my own experience, as well as most of the conventional medicine practitioners would say, many times these health practitioners, what they educate is contrary to what we say, what is scientifically correct. Many of them talk against homeopathic doctors, especially talk against immunization, etc. How is the WHO taking a stand and how are they going to integrate it? One has to see it in reality as the years roll by. The importance of traditional practice in self-care is also highlighted by the UN General Assembly resolution adopted on 21st June as the International Day of Yoga, which acknowledges yoga's significance in building better individual lifestyle and for the health of the world population. This is music to the ears of many of the Indians, because yoga is now accepted as a very, very effective complementary medicine. Now, especially for hypertension and many other, it's supposed to be very effective. It's supposed to have some evidence also. It's worth noting what the Director General of World Health Organization in 2019, Mr. Tedros, the gentleman who is the Director General of WHO and made a mess of the COVID epidemic, and it looks like he's going to make a mess of the primary healthcare also. Now let's see what he stated about traditional and complementary medicine is an important and often underestimated health resource with many applications, especially in prevention and management of lifestyle-related chronic diseases and in meeting the health needs of aging population. Well, it looks like as if the lifestyle-related chronic diseases and health needs of aging populations are different from other diseases. They also require modern care. Anyway, now many countries are seeking to expand the coverage of essential health services at a time when consumer expectations for care, rising costs are soaring, most budgets are either stagnant or being reduced. Now, what is echoing? What you can read in between lines is, we don't have the money to give evidence-based medicine or what you call as conventional medicine. At least let us give less costly complementary medicine. That's me. Now they are not talking about it very clearly. This seems to echo on his presentation. This is what IMA is opposing tooth and nail, because they say that, look, you cannot cut costs when it comes to giving health care to people. It is a primary thing. And this is where the difference of opinion between the modern medicine doctors and the WHO comes about. And he goes on to state that in an ideal world, traditional medicine would be an option offered by well-functioning people-centered health system that balances curative services with preventive care. It looks as if that the conventional medicine does not have preventive care. Anyway, WHO is halfway through implementing the WHO traditional medicine strategy 2014. They are very serious about it. They have a real strategy and they are halfway through it. Our current focus is to develop norms, standards, and technical documents based on reliable information and data to support member states in providing safe, qualified, and effective traditional and complementary medicine services and the appropriate integration. He also uses the word integration. He also completely, the WHO supports the integration in the health systems for achieving universal health coverage and sustainable developmental goals. If you want to know more about how serious WHO is about integrating these medicines, in mid-2017, WHO Traditional Complementary Medicine Unit was renamed to include the term integrative medicine to cover the integrative approaches to both traditional and complementary medicine and conventional medicine regarding policy, knowledge, and practice. Policy, knowledge, and practice. They are going to integrate knowledge. How can you integrate homeopathy with the modern medicine? I don't know. Diametrically opposite in many things. The unit is now officially referred to as traditional, complementary, and integrative medicine. Therefore, the WHO is dead serious about it. They are very serious not only about promoting complementary medicine, they want to integrate the medicine both in practice and in education. And that seems to be the exact policy of the Indian government. Therefore, when the modern medicine doctors are opposing it, there is a big fight away in the days ahead. In the slides to come, we will dive deep into the fact of other issues concerning this particular topic. Therefore, we found out today what we did is we found out what is CAM. We looked at the definition and the WHO stand and strategy on CAM as well as integrative medicine. I think along with you, I was also surprised at the way the real strategy they have. They are dead serious about it. They have a strategy extending from 2014 to 2023, and according to the Secretary General, they are 50% through. And we also looked at what is the practice in developed countries. I was a little surprised that more than 50% of the people even in developed countries practice CAM in one way or the other. And more number of people consult for CAM than in conventional medicine. Now in the next slide video, I would be looking at the efficacy and safety of medical and medico-legal aspects of CAM, the strategy of integration, this is the controversial thing, and regulatory aspects of CAM. And this is the strategy of integration, means what the WHO advises and what some other countries have done already about it. And you must be knowing that I do put regularly in this YouTube channel, you will find my other educational videos. And I also blog on this site in pediatric theory and practice on pediatric topics. Thank you for listening. And in a couple of days, I'll put the second part of this, the second video on this topic.